Welcome back to today's NBA pick video play for Thursday, December 14th, 2017. In today's video, going to be talking about this matchup here between the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks. Give our take on who we feel has the better edge against the spread. If you guys are interested in getting all of our plays for today, you can get those over at stumpthespread.com. Linked down in the video description, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So coming into this one, the road team today, the Pistons, sitting as about 3.5-point favorites. Detroit, they're a team that I don't think they're as good as what they opened up the year at 14-6 overall, but they're also not as bad as the 0-7 that they've put on the board over the last couple of weeks. Now standing 14-13 overall. I do think the Pistons are talented enough to get into the Eastern Conference playoffs maybe as about somewhere between a 4 to a 7 seed, especially if they can figure out their issues. So right now, the main problem that the Pistons are dealing with is they just don't have an answer at the small forward position. Offensively, guys like Stanley Johnson and Reggie Bullock have just been black holes on the offensive side of the ball. It's really been a nightmare for the Pistons trying to figure things out at that particular spot on the court, because when they have to take out Stanley Johnson or Reggie Bullock because they're not performing offensively, they have to have smaller lineups on the court, infusing shooting guards into that number 3 spot on the court. And that's trickled over into other areas of the game that's lacking right now for the Pistons. They're rebounding. They're just 20th in the NBA in rebounding average, which is way worse than what we've seen Detroit in recent years, considering they have the best rebounder on the planet in Andre Drummond. But with these smaller lineups on the court, Drummond isn't getting the same kind of help on the glass on both ends of the court. So that's one thing that's really hurting Detroit, is their opponents are getting a lot more second chance scoring opportunities, even when they have these good defensive possessions. And right now on the year, the Pistons, they're standing 23rd in the league in scoring average, 7th in total team defense. They've been more of a half-court oriented team, even though Van Gundy likes them to get out in transition and build off of their defense to force turnovers. But a lot of the times what we've been seeing with the Pistons over this 7-game losing streak is they're playing decent defense, they're forcing missed shots, but then the opposition are getting second, third, fourth scoring opportunities in the same possession. And that's just making it so that teams are scoring, and also they're not making it so that they can get transition buckets themselves. In the last outing, the Pistons had a tough time at home. They lost to the Denver Nuggets by a final of 84-103. And it's just going to be interesting to see if the Pistons are able to turn things around at some point or figure things out at that small forward spot on the court. And if they're able to do that, maybe through a trade, or I don't even know, Stanley Johnson, they basically have to go with him at this point and hope he develops into somebody that can be more of a threat offensively. But until that point, probably going to be more of a middling team right now in the Eastern Conference. The home team today, the Atlanta Hawks, a lot of people expected this team to struggle coming into the year. I don't think Atlanta is quite as bad as their 6-21 overall record might suggest. You just look at their total numbers: 20th in the league in scoring, 26th in total team defense, a plus-minus of about -5 points, which really isn't that bad when you consider that this team is just 6-21 overall. You'd expect at least a little bit better of an overall record with this type of point differential. And the Hawks, we feel like they opened up the year really poorly, but they've been a bit more consistently competitive in recent weeks. In their last outing on the road against the Cleveland Cavaliers, losing by a final of 114-123. Prior to that, a road game against the Knicks, losing by just 4 points. And then prior to that, their last game at home, they beat the Orlando Magic by 7 points. So they have shown that they can stay competitive. Earlier in the year, they went on the road to play the Pistons. They dug themselves a huge hole in that contest. They kind of rallied back towards the end, but losing by a final of 104-111. That was a competitive contest there for Atlanta. Maybe they're feeling like the way that they closed that game against Detroit, they have a little bit more confidence in what they should be able to do in this one, especially behind their own home court advantage. So the play that we feel has pretty good value coming to this one is going to be the home team getting those points. Detroit is trending in a negative direction, and until they figure things out with that small forward position, we just don't have a ton of confidence in the Pistons getting back to the form that we saw from them earlier on in the year. And again, guys, siding with Atlanta here, getting those points. And to get all of our plays for today's action, you can get those over at stumpthespread.com. Link down in the video description. And be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping on in. We hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.